You have to be the hero of your own story, and you can do that.
90% of it is just showing up. Get there and start working. Like, you're not going to feel perfect every day. There's got to be those days you push through. And they're probably going to be more numerous than the days you don't. And so the benefit of discipline in my eyes has always been that through discipline, I get things done. Write down everything you want to do. This is what I want you to do. Write down what you would like to fix about your life. And then just, if you're 30 pounds overweight, you want to lose 30 pounds, do it the right way. Go start eating vegetables, monitor your calories, write down what you eat, exercise every day, force yourself to do it. The brain is the general, the troops are the body, and you get up and you do it. And then you get to write it down. Our bodies, for whatever reason, most people, their associations are to avoid anything that's uncomfortable. It's so illogical, because when you look at comfort and you look at success and progress and the feelings of accomplishment and of getting past certain hurdles in terms of like how you feel about life, a lot of those are connected to discomfort. Like, discomfort is your friend. It really is. Like, discomfort and not being happy and content with certain situations in life or certain feelings in life. One of the big problems is sitting down and doing the work. And he labels it like an enemy. He calls it resistance, you know, and that you have to sit down and you have to overcome resistance, and that the pro goes to work. And it doesn't matter if you're sick, doesn't matter if you have kids, it doesn't matter what, you're a pro and you go to work. And that just, it puts it in your head that this is what I do. You have pride in that. And then when you are in front of that keyboard and you look down the count, it says put 1,000 words in. You're doing the work. Yeah. And out of that work, gems blossom. And it's about resistance that people feel when you should write, or you should paint, or whatever you should sculpt, whatever these things are that you pursue. And that there's this thing that comes up that tries to keep you from doing that. This resistance.
You're not a hero in your own eyes. You're not someone who you respect. You know, you're doing what you got to do to get by, but ultimately you're not respecting yourself. And I think we all have a certain amount of appreciation and respect for hero figures. You know, like, we all look at like the guy who never lies and always does the right thing and fucking helps everybody out, and that's the John Wayne character. You know, that's the ultimate hero.
And he's like, this is a battle that you will fight for the rest of your life. But the key is to fight it, not to give in. Don't give in to that resistance, just to fight that resistance. And in doing so, every day you do so, you have won the battle for that day. And you will continue to fight that battle.
And when you look at your own life and you don't stack up, you're a thief, you stole money from your wife's purse, and you know you don't want to smoke cigarettes, but you fucking have to, you can't deal with the stress, you smoke, you devalue yourself. You slowly start devaluing yourself. You look at yourself, you realize that if you were judging yourself, you would judge yourself unfavorably. So no matter who you can't pretend you're the hero of your story. You can be the hero of your own story that woke up today. You can be the hero of your own story that at 40 years of age stopped, got out of bed, and said, I'm not doing this anymore. Only by my instincts and only by my morals and my ideals and my mind, and I'm going to be dead honest with myself because I'm realizing this is not going to last forever. And I'm going to get myself in shape, and I'm going to eat healthy, and I'm going to do this because this is me now. I decide that this is me. And people have to realize that you are not your past. You are not all the times you fucked up. You're not all the times you were drunk. That's not you. What you are the person who's learned from a great deal of experience.
When you're alone with your thoughts, you get an idea of what your thoughts actually are. If you live your life just acting constantly on the momentum of other people's expectations, of you wanting to be liked by these other people, you can run into a trap, and you set up a life that you didn't really want. Your life is certainly some sort of a journey. It's certainly some sort of a journey. You're trapped in this situation where you have a mortgage, you've got credit card bills, you've got student loans you have to pay, you have a bunch of shit going on that you have to continue to feed. And all that, and especially if you have a family and you have to feed them, oh my goodness. Then you're fully locked in. You can't take any chances whatsoever. And oftentimes people make the mistake of getting stuck. And it is just a tactical mistake, just like it would be a mistake if you got stuck on a video game. Just like it would be a mistake if you followed a map incorrectly and you get stuck in the woods. Your life is certainly some sort of a journey. It's certainly some sort of a journey. And we have to all be aware that when we're making journeys, we're not going to always make the right steps. And sometimes you have to back up and try again. And if you're in a position where you can't back up and try again, you've trapped yourself. Because people define themselves by the past. Instead of thinking about who they are now, instead of they still look back at a mistake they made and don't just get past that mistake, grow and learn, but dwell on it. Think it defines them. I mean, there's definitely pitfalls in life. You're going to run into them. We all are. No, you can learn and grow if you survive. Somewhere along the line, they didn't face enough of the adversity to realize that there's sometimes you just got to get up and get shit done. There's sometimes where you have to fucking pull yourself up and you have to push forward even if you want to stay in bed. Having that safety net just provided him with a way to stay in bed, kept him weak. Have an opportunity. Every time things go wrong, every time things feel terrible, you have an opportunity to learn from whatever makes you feel terrible and never allow it to happen again. Push forward. The system will set out honeypots for people to get trapped in. The system will set out the ideas of retirement, the ideas of the golden years, providing you benefits, providing you a healthy work environment. Why? Well, because they want people to work for them. They don't want people to realize their own dreams and escape. They want to set it up so that you stick around. Stick around in some sort of an unsatisfying world. It's up to you to see that video game problem, to see that issue as it comes up on the map. And no, I think this is a right turn. To see all the problems that could potentially lay in front of you and calculate your future. And then also look around all the people that didn't do it and look at the misery that they're in and learn that you don't want to be like them. And most people get stuck in these patterns, or they define themselves as a person who doesn't follow through on their ideas, or a person who doesn't pursue their real interests and loves. You define yourself by that. Well, I guess I start things and I quit. No, you don't. No, you have started things and you quit. And it gives you a horrible sense of regret that's made you define yourself by that. You don't have to do that. If I look back on anything I've ever done, mistakes I've ever made, paths that something that I put out that I didn't quite think, man, maybe I just waited 3 months before I released that, or maybe I should have, re-edited that blog post a couple more times before I put it online, or things that I've done have driven me crazy, but yelling at someone I didn't have to yell at them for, whatever. But the most important thing is always for all people to recognize that you're not who you were a year ago. You're not who you were 5 years ago. You're not who you were last week. So you got to regulate how much you dwell on regrets of the past. You really got to be careful. It's also directly proportionate to the amount of hardships that people face in life, their ability to face hardships. And there's a lot of folks that live life on a cushy cloud of marshmallows and bullshit, and then one day something goes wrong. And then look at the people that have kind of taken chances and navigated their way. What did they do differently than you? What insight into their own mistakes are they willing to delve into that you're not, that you step back and you go, I just don't want to look at myself that closely. But the person who's able to look at themselves the closest is going to get the more rational results.
Seize the day. Winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. Do not wait for your ship to come in, swim out to it. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. If you can dream it, you can do it. Wherever you go, go with all your heart. If man has done his best, what else is there? Success is going from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. If first you don't succeed, try again. Genius is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. I think I can. There's no substitute for hard work. Willing is not enough. We must live the life you imagine. Do or do not. There is no try. Action is the foundational key to all success. Discouragement and failure are the two of the surest stepping stones to success. The cure is not to dream less, but to dream more, to dream all the time. If you don't know where you're going, you will wind up somewhere else. Just do it. I heard those quotes growing up all the time. When I first heard some, I memorized them. Others I wrote down. But not one of them motivated me for more than a day or two. It was a much less inspirational quote that inspired me, from a much less famous person. It was a doctor at UCLA. He said, Steve, you've got inoperable tumors all over your liver. Worst case scenario, you have 5 years to live.
And I can't control the cards I'm dealt, just how I play the hands.
If you need inspiring words, don't do it.
Today's talk is not about death. It's about life and how to live, specifically about childhood dreams and about how you can try to achieve them. Dreams will come to you. If you live properly, the dreams will come to you. And I was dreaming, always dreaming. It was an easy time to dream. When you turn on your television set and men are landing on the moon, anything is possible. And we should never lose that spirit.
Okay, bad news. I had cancer. I was dying. But I got more bad news. You are all dying too. And what are you dying to do? Don't skate forward any further in your life without answering that question. But I've basically just given you all the same diagnosis I was given. Your time is limited. And that's a real diagnosis, so what now? Okay, like most people when they're told they're dying, you're probably going through the 5 stages of grief. The first stage is denial. I'm not dying, I'm healthy. Stage 2 is anger. Urgh. Stage 3 is bargaining. Okay, we're all dying. Stage 4 is depression. Stage 5, the final stage, is acceptance. Okay, I'm not immortal. So So what now? Well, let me tell you what I did when I was told I might only have 5 years to live. First of all, I got a lot of advice. A lot of friends wanted to help. A friend of my wife told me that maybe this news would give me a whole new perspective. Someone else told me that I should live every day like it was my last.
So what were my childhood dreams? Being in the National Football League. This is one of the childhood dreams I didn't achieve. All right? And it's very important to know that if you don't achieve your dreams, you can still get a lot by trying for it. There's an expression I love, experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. The most wonderful thing my parents did was they let me paint my bedroom. I said one day, I want to paint stuff on the walls. And they said, okay. So I had a rocket ship, and we lived in a ranch, so I wanted an elevator. I wasn't sure where it would go. But the great thing is that they let me do it. And they felt that letting me express my creativity was more important than the pristine nature of the walls. The brick walls that are in our way are there for a reason. They are not there to keep us out. They are there to give us a way to show how much we want it.
But what I kept coming back to when I had time by myself and no one was giving me advice was my dreams. The dreams I had put aside, the ones that I thought I had plenty of time to reach. But now that I realized I had a finite amount of time, I had to ask myself, what did I want to accomplish? I'm not a worst-case scenario guy, but if I really only had 5 years to live, what was it that I wanted to make sure happened? For me, as a comedian, it was a dream I had since I was 12 years old. It was to perform my comedy on The Late Show with David Letterman. So, let me be clear before I move on. I was a comedian already, okay? I was making a living at it. No day job, full-time comedian, making a good living in comedy clubs, colleges, corporate events around the world. That was a pretty big feat in itself. But 6 years into my comedy career, I kind of stopped chasing the Letterman dream. I was waiting for it to come to me. I was waiting for someday, not chasing it anymore. And that's a very important lesson for all of us mortals here today. Someday isn't on the calendar. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's on there about 4 times a month. No someday. But when it comes to our dreams, it's probably the busiest day of the week is someday, right? So learning that lesson, I just decided that I was going to refocus my attention back on that dream. I was going to pull out all the stops, and I gave myself a goal of getting on Letterman within 1 year. I was going to make someday happen. I started yelling my dream to anyone who would listen. Started calling in every favor I was owed. I found out everyone who worked on the show and begged them to help me get an audition. I even started asking people at comedy clubs after they'd seen me to email the show and beg Dave to book me. And guess what? I didn't make it. My ironically named deadline came and went. But I was so renewed about my dream and my newfound passion for it, I decided to give myself an extension. 1 more year to get on Letterman. Didn't happen. And then another. Nope. Sounds like bad news, right? Well, it was. I would have loved to get on the show in that first year, but something great happened over those years. Those 3 years weren't spent dying. They were spent living. Living a dream. And let me tell you, there is something, if you've ever chased a dream, you know that it lights a fire in your heart. That whether you reach it or not, it warms everyone around you and everything around you. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to keep going. Because that dream is so important. You can't wait for someday to happen. You need to make things go out. Wouldn't the world be a better place if we're all inspired? If the world wasn't full of uninspired people? I know I felt better when I was inspired. But why do people stop chasing their dreams? I don't think people choose to be uninspired. Why do you think people stop chasing their dreams? Everyone wants to achieve them. Why do people leave them behind? That was a tough question to answer. I wanted to give her an honest answer, not some cliche response or a motivational line. So I thought about it for a long time. I knew that cancer had motivated me to pick my dream up again, but why did I stop chasing it in the first place? Why does anyone stop? Well, when the answer came to me, it was hard to swallow, let alone spit out and say aloud, but I told her. We're all taught that life is tough. Life's a bitch. Life is hard. But it's not. It's pretty easy, right? It's pretty easy to skate by and go through life, right? We wake up every day, most of us in the world, with a roof over our heads, a big comfy bed under our butts, a fridge full of food. Most of us in the world, especially here in America, never have to worry about starvation or homelessness. We have friends and family that'll help us out when those things come. Those are the things that made life dangerous 100 years ago. Now we complain if life isn't convenient. This isn't a statement on modern society. This is a statement about motivation. Life is easy. It's easy to skate by. Pretty easy to grow up, put your dreams aside, leave your passions behind, take a job that you don't even really mind, raise some kids who will most likely be inspired to do the exact same thing, go from point A to point B to point C until you end up at point Z, where you pass away and there's a line of people waiting to get up and tell everyone else who knew you what a good life you had. Nothing bad about that, nothing wrong with that, but nothing great about it, nothing inspiring about that. It's easy to look at a dream as something way off in the distance, something that might or might not be accomplished, a thing, an object, a goal, a thought that runs through our mind every now and then, a noun. But dream is also a verb. It has to be lived, it has to be done, it has to be furthered, it has to be acted upon, it needs to be chased. It's not just an idea or a result. To dream encompasses every step that it takes to get there. So I'm going to give you all a challenge here. Figure out the answer to that question. What are you dying to do? Don't skate forward any further in your life without answering that question. But if you don't know the answer, don't go to sleep tonight without answering that question. Don't wait till someday to answer that question. There's nothing more important in your life than figuring that out. When you do figure it out, then when you go to sleep, you sleep like a kid again. Because then you'll be going to sleep not to dream, but with a dream. And waking up with one. Thank you. I told you about my dream. I didn't reach my Letterman dream by my deadline. Or my extended deadline. Nope. It took me 5 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Steve Maison.
5 years of living. Five of the years of living for that dream. And I was very lucky. My tumors during that time, they didn't grow. I stayed healthy. But I had that wake-up call, and I'm giving you all the same wake-up call. We're all dying. But if you're not chasing your dream, you're already dead.
I don't think complaining and whining really solves the problem. This is Jackie Robinson, first black major leaguer, had it in his contract not to complain if people spit on him. Now, I don't care if you're Jackie Robinson or if you're a guy like me who's only got a couple of months to live. You can choose to take your finite time and energy and effort, and you can spend it complaining, or you can spend it playing the game hard, which is probably going to be more helpful to you in the long run. The talk isn't just about how to achieve your childhood dreams. It's much broader than that. It's about how to live your life. Because if you lead your life the right way, the karma will take care of itself. That we all have people that we don't like, that have done things we don't like, and what I have found is no one is pure evil. If you wait long enough, they will show you their good side. You can't make them do it in a hurry, but you can be patient.
He said, when life can no longer threaten you with death, I said, what else is there? What else is there? And the majority of the fears that we have are not life or death fears. They're not those kind of fears. If you want to begin to move, you've got to clear your mind of all the unnecessary luggage and baggage that's weighing us down. I couldn't move, I couldn't think about what am I going to do to get out of this situation because I was so concerned about what happened and what he did to me and how bad it was. I was so stuck in that I couldn't even focus on what I should have done. So what's the worst thing that they can do to you? Kill you. And he just decided, hey, this is what I came here to do. I know that there's some risk involved, and I'm going to do it, come what may. He said, I'm not going to be afraid anymore. Feeling sorry for myself and angry, none of that was taking me anywhere. So pretty soon, I learned through effort, made a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. I had to let it go. I had to forgive it. Let it go and begin to focus on developing myself. And I say to you, you're going to have people to do things to you. Things are going to happen to you. And the most important thing to do is to harness your will and let it go. And move so you can grow. So you can get on with your life. It doesn't matter about what happens to you. What matters is, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do now, Les?
This is the instinct that says, you've had enough. This is the instinct that says, you've given it your best shot. You can stand down. You can back off. You can take a knee. This is the instinct that says, you can rest now. Do not listen to that instinct. Do not listen. That instinct is a liar and wants to bring you down. That's the instinct that's a defense mechanism. It wants to give you an out, a place to run to.
A lot of people never get to where they want to be because they'll never stop complaining about where they're at. I'm going to say it again. A lot of people will never get to where they want to be because they will never stop complaining about where they're at. The word complain means to remain or to stay overnight. So if you want to stay right where you're at, just keep complaining about it, and I can pretty much guarantee you that you'll still be there.
And they'll tell you you did the best you could. No, they'll say the deck was stacked against you. And they'll say it's not your fault. And they'll tell you it's okay to stop. It's okay to settle. It's okay to give up. And that is the instinct you need to fight. You need to push back, to smash into the ground. Do not take the easy way out. Do not give up based on instinct. If you are forced to stand down, to retreat, so that you can rebuild and reattack, so be it. but make that decision based on logic, not on the instinct of surrender and defeat. Get up. Go. Fight on.
You know my history. I've been sort of on all sides of my journey. You know, I didn't have success very early, and I went through some very dark times. And you know what I mean? One thing I kept doing is, you know, inspiring myself, looking for inspiration and growing, and it hasn't stopped, and I want to keep doing that. And I also want to inspire others. You know, there are millions of me sitting at home right now, and they don't know it. And it's just good to be able to get this sort of platform to sort of say, come on, man, go for it. So listen, man, no speed.
Yes, I don't do things for money, and I've been broke most of my life. So because of that, I can't sort of suddenly go, I need to do a job just to get some cash, you know what I mean? I know that's a lot of times it is people's motivations because people need to eat, but in my position, I've been poor most of my life, so now I think my imagination has always kept me going, you know what I mean? You know, just imagine myself collecting awards, just imagine myself, you know what I mean, getting big parts, imagine myself working with the greatest actors. My imagination was the one, like, you know what I mean, like, you know, when you not overthink it, but you just kind of like, yeah man, I see myself driving that car one day, and I get that. Actually, if I can see myself doing it, I could probably do it. So you can't bottle that up and sell it to someone. You either can do it or you can't, but everybody can imagine themselves, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's important not to give yourself boundaries, which we can do quite easily, okay? People talk about aiming for the skies. Sometimes even aiming for the skies is intimidating. Just don't give yourself boundaries. Your sky and my sky might be different, you know what I mean? But neither of us will touch the sky if we give ourselves boundaries, you know what I mean? Whatever your sky is, whatever your biggest dream is, I might have already touched that, you know? So in other words, what sky? Where does the sky end? I'd rather people go, you know what, I'm not gonna restrict myself to going, I can only do this, or I can only do that, or I have to do it this way, or I have to do it that way.
The first step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it. There's no reason to have a plan B because it distracts from plan A.
When I was 16, contemplating being an actor, I was in sound systems, DJing. You know what I mean? And you know, it was like that or this. So I always go back to DJing. I always have a studio, I always have turntables, always. Been doing it a long time, you know what I mean? And there was a drive to be famous, to be, you know, that pinnacle, to be that guy. And it's not, my ambition isn't that as much. You know what I mean? Good work, keep working. So it'll be hard for me to sort of like suddenly be like, you know, oh, I'm lifted up by this wonderful life that I have. I love it, but you know, my feet are on the ground, you know, it's work, it's a job. Achievement is inspirational to me, you know, people doing it. Someone that on Monday didn't know how to do this and by Friday can do it. That is an inspiration to me. I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to fall over, make a mistake.
That oftentimes cripples people on the onset of getting into anything. The first time I ever picked up the DJ decks was horrible. Horrible now. But I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid of that feeling. It actually propels me and works quite the opposite.
But I really loved to do it. So I just said, I want to do what I love, you know what I mean?
Like I can do 18, 22 hours a day easily. It's definitely one of those components to me as a human being, my makeup, my genetics, that allows me to actually keep moving. I'm a veteran at being able to look at an opportunity and go, is that going to take me further or not? You know, some people don't have that. You won't. It's something you develop. You know, that's why most times out of 10, any head of a company has been doing it for a long time, because they inherently can make a decision in the blink of an eye. But you have to learn that. The other thing that's important, I think, is to keep your head down. You know, keep your head down. Like when I swim, I've got 25 laps, guaranteed if I look up and start counting those laps, I'm petered out by 15. If I put my head down and keep working away and work at technique, work at internal rhythm, work at, I hit that length, I don't even know what length I'm on, guarantee you I'll look up and it'll be 20 and 2 more, 3 more to go. And that's a very simple device, but I think people find themselves incrementally checking how far they've got. And that, you know, when you compare it to anybody else or whatever, it's just it's a recipe for disaster. Just keep banging on, you know? Mountain climbers will probably tell you the same thing, you know, there's no point looking. The difference between climbing 100 feet and climbing 500 feet is a point of view. You won't know you're at the top until you get there, pal. And that's what you need to remember. You know, just get in there. Just don't look down. The more I grow, you know, I'm 43 at this point, you know, considered a middle-aged man, and happiness is without a doubt the best thing that I strive for. Health and happiness, kid you not. I couldn't, any of it means nothing if I'm not happy about it. My breakthrough was actually deciding I wanted to be an actor and go into a drama college. Not a drama college, I did a performing arts course. It changed my life. It turned my dreams into a reality. It gave me an actual, tangible target to go, oh, actually, I could do this. That was my breakthrough, because it was a breakthrough of my mind. That was my biggest breakthrough. Of course, there have been numerous breakthroughs over my career and my life, which I'm all proud of, but none so much as that realization that I want to be an actor. To thrive in whatever you do, please understand your terrain. Know what your target is. Don't guess it. Be as clued up as the next man, because that's your petrol. That's your fuel to get you moving. If you don't know where you're going, what your targets are, you're never going to get there, period. Work hard, sleep less.